The Sacramento Kings look to make it 6 in a row after the All-Star break. Think about that, 6 in a row. Thanks for hanging in there with me for a second. Having a couple of technical issues on this end. Maybe I should call Jerry Reynolds, see if he can get me some IT help. But hey, the Timberwolves are in town tonight. I am Ryan in Sactown. This is the Sacramento Kings pregame show on If You Don't Like That. Yeah. I see you guys there. Sorry about that. We've been having some issues getting connected to all of our stream sources, but not to worry. We are here. Welcome Saturday night. Kings in town with the Timberwolves. Third matchup of the season against the T-Wolves. The Kings have won the first two matchups. In fact, the Kings have won both matchups by 7 points. Both of those were in Minnesota. I believe that was back in January. Those were those, back-to-back, little mini series games. So the Kings coming off of a back-to-back last night with a win against the Clippers. Got kind of close there at the end, a little too close for comfort. It was a game that the Kings really pretty much dominated, in my opinion. But then in those last couple minutes, things got a little bit testy. The Clippers began to double De'Aaron, which caused a little bit of chaos on offense. But what was the saving grace for the Kings last night? Wait for it. Free throws. The Sacramento Kings were 100% from the free throw line with two big ones from Domantas Sabonis to ice the game off. Good evening, Kings fans. Indeed, let me know where you're watching the show from tonight. So it is going to be a solo night. The boss has the night off. So you're going to get a dose of me, but we're going to have a little bit of fun, maybe switch things up a little bit. So come in for halftime. I'll be here. I'll be here for post game as well. So anyways, getting back to the game tonight. T-Wolves, interesting matchup, right? The T-Wolves kind of went all in this season or before the season and traded for Rudy Gobert, really kind of screwed up the NBA trade market, right? They gave up, I believe, 3 or 4 first-round picks to Utah for Gobert, and they already have Towns in Minnesota. So you're thinking, what's going on here? Are they going to go Twin Towers? What's the look going to be? Well, it hasn't exactly worked out for Minnesota this year. They are one game over 500, 33-32. They have won their last 2 games. They did the LA swing. They beat the Clippers and they beat the Lakers last night. So actually both teams are coming off of a back-to-back. So anyways, we'll see what Minnesota team comes out to play tonight with the Kings. Last night, they were very, very physical with the Lakers. They were up tempo more so than normal, and they were shooting the three really well. Minnesota, with the lineup that they're going to have on the floor, let's not give credit, or we need to give credit to, Anthony Edwards. He is playing excellent for Minnesota. So we shouldn't forget about him. That's who I was trying to get to right there. So Anthony Edwards, a little bit of a matchup problem for the Kings. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have some length too. So we are going to see what's going to go on with that. And we know that the Kings have struggled with length in the past, Joel Embiid, for instance. But it should be a good matchup with Sabonis, and it should be a good matchup with him down low. Hopefully Sabonis does not get into foul trouble. If Sabonis gets in foul trouble, then the Kings will likely get into some trouble, because that's going to be a tough guard for anybody coming off the bench for the Kings. Oh boy, we're going there, huh? What's going on with Grant's hairline? You're gonna have to ask the boss about that one, but I can tell you nothing but good things are going on with his hairline. We actually had an event earlier, actually last fall, and we held it at Bennett's, and we raised $16,000 for charity. I know Jay's in here, and Grant and I both shaved our heads, so maybe that has a little something to do with the hairline. But I think Grant's looking all right, guys. I mean, do you guys prefer the shaved head look for Grant, or should he keep the lettuce? How's it going? All right. Sabonis needs to stay out of foul trouble. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Sabonis has to stay out of foul trouble tonight. It shouldn't be too difficult to do that. Gobert, he likes to play a little inside outside game. And that's exactly what Sabonis does. So, if anything, maybe we can get Gobert into foul trouble. That would be really, really good for the Kings because that will open up the middle and let us get out and run a little bit more. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I need to come up with a new word than really appreciate it. Help me out, guys. But thank you for tuning in wherever you are as we approach tip off for tonight. Kings and Timberwolves. Sea Dog is in. Like, let's see. You would like to see. I can't read something. But all right. I'll get back to that. Glasses are a little blurry right now. Take those off. I know Grant's get blurry when he is doing his rants. I'm not ranting right now. That's the problem. Anyways, all right, let's get to De'Aaron Fox. How about De'Aaron Fox? Anybody out there still want Ben Simmons? You remember that during the postseason? All of the talk about, oh well, let's maybe talk about Ben Simmons coming into Sacramento. This will get them over the hump on the defensive end. Do you really think Ben Simmons would have helped this team defensively? Come on. You need 5 Ben Simmons at their absolute best to help this team defensively. So, yeah, no chance. Hola, Eduardo. Hola from Chile, buddy. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching from Sactown. Heck yeah. Yeah. So getting back to Fox, De'Aaron has had 8 straight games with 30 points or more. And that's with an injury mixed in where he took a game off. That is a Sacramento era record. Tonight, De'Aaron goes for a 9th straight game with 30 points or more. If he does that, he will tie the franchise record. Right now, that's held by Tiny Archibald. Think about that. Tiny Archibald, 1975, had 9 games of 30 plus or more. So I think this is probably a game De'Aaron gets that. He's going to see Mike Conley on him tonight, which was an acquisition for the Timberwolves at the trade deadline, which I think was a good acquisition for the Timberwolves in lieu of D'Angelo Russell. They needed somebody to really be able to come in as a veteran and facilitate for that team because they've already got a shooter in Anthony Edwards on the wing with them. So Foxy, he is playing out of his mind. There's no doubt about that. And where do you guys, I'd love to get your thoughts. Where do you put De'Aaron Fox right now in the NBA amongst point guards? Do you think he's in the top 5? Do you think he's in the top 10? He's definitely in the top 10. Top 5? I think he's in the top 5. Could you say top 3 maybe? He's approaching them. And there was all this talk in Sacramento about, is De'Aaron a max player? And I think there is no doubt at this point, we all know the answer to that question. This team goes as De'Aaron goes. He is the only player on the court that can go out and get his own shot whenever he wants it. He creates, he gets to his spots, and he opens things up for other guys. So I think that, it's not debatable. Yes, top 10 for sure, no doubt. Easily top 5. Yeah, so put him out there, number 4. Okay. I can see that. I could see that. But come on, really? Luka, Dame, Fox. Is Luka a true point guard though? That's kind of it's kind of like saying LeBron's a point guard to a degree. But yeah, you could throw Luka in there, I guess. Yeah, that'll play. So so Fox tonight going for that record or to tie the record with Tiny Archibald. So the Kings tip off here again in about 15, 20 minutes. We started the show a little late with the Timberwolves. They will, after the Timberwolves, have the Pelicans coming to town on Monday night. No update right now on the injury situation for the Pelicans. But let's get through this one tonight, and we will see what happens. Naz Reid, yes, we got to keep an eye out for him. There's no doubt about that. The Timberwolves, as you saw in the first two meetings, they could really shoot the three ball when they get it going as a team. So watch out for that. And they also, if you don't get up and guard them right as they're coming down the floor, they will not hesitate to pull that quick three. And the Kings sometimes can play that sagging defense when the team brings up the ball. So look for the Kings, hopefully, to come up and press a little bit more. I am a big fan of that, kind of fake three-quarter press defense that the Kings run. I think that kind of throws teams a little bit out of sorts to a degree because they don't expect it from the Kings. But yeah. Love Fox, absolutely. What are the top 3 keys to a victory tonight? Number 1, foul trouble. That's going to be the first one with Sabonis. Sabonis cannot get in foul trouble tonight. He's got to be on the floor as much as possible with Gobert. The second key is shooting. The Kings absolutely have to shoot the ball like they normally shoot the ball. And we talk about this all the time, and it seems really redundant or an easy answer, but they can outscore anybody in this league. And if they're shooting at their normal clip, which is number 1 in the NBA, then the Kings should not have a problem, considering the Timberwolves only average 115 a game. The third key to the game tonight is going to be Kevin Huerter. I know a lot of people would say bench, we need more production. Last night, the bench wasn't super active. Kevin Huerter, he kind of broke out last night, 18 points. I want to see more from Kevin. He needs to continue getting right and continue doing those positive things when he's off the ball, whether it be making assists, like he had 9 in the game against, or 2 games ago, he had 9 assists. So I want to see him get back to his normal form for sure. So back last night, last night was the first time seeing Fox doubled that late in the game. We've seen it one other time. I forget which game it was. They got the ball out of his hands quick, and it was at home, and the Kings ended up losing. Help me out if anybody remembers which game that was. But yeah, you're going to see more of that, and that's why the Kings need to be ready for it. And the Kings need to, especially when I'm saying this, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, if he's on the court, they need to be ready to shoot that ball. So the other team cannot get back on their rotation instead of making another pass, because then you're giving the defense an opportunity to kind of reset from that double team. So I'd like to see a little bit more aggression off that, but we'll see as time goes, especially as we approach the playoffs, because that is going to be a recipe to stop Fox, right? You want to get the ball out of his hands, especially in clutch time. Don't be surprised if you see some teams that start trying to double him earlier in the game as well, not just in crunch time. So we will see how that plays out. Let's see. C-Dog, I'd like to see. Yes, sir. I agree with that. Herder and Keegan, that would be great. It's been a while. The starters, they all were in double digits last night. So the starters did carry the Kings to a win. But yeah, I want to see that more consistent play from every starter, because it seems like usually we get 3 of 5 that are right. And then maybe, Keegan's not scoring well, Herder's not scoring well. Or it's Barnes maybe having a quiet game. I want to see all 5 thrive, because they certainly can do that. So, hey, while we're here, wanted to take a quick second and tell you about Bennett's. Bennett's Kitchen, one of my favorite restaurants here in Sacramento. I know Grant absolutely loves Bennett's. We gush about it all the time. They have locations in Sacramento, Roseville, a new location soon to come in Rockland at the Blue Oaks Town Center. You can't go wrong with Bennett's. Their portions, the quality of their food, prime steaks, great seafood. Like I said, we held an event there last fall. Brian and his team, big supporters of the show, big King supporters as well. We're so gracious. Had a great time there. Wonderful place to go have a date, go for some brunch. They also have brunch on the weekends. So go check out Bennett's. Again, locations in Roseville, Sacramento, and soon to come Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. All right. Well, we're getting closer and closer to tip off. Like I said, the boss has the night off. So, and I promise you, it's not load management. So it is not a load management break. I would not throw him under the bus for that. He does have obligations. So he is off the hook. But let me get your thoughts. Final score tonight. What do you guys think it's going to be? Will the Kings take their sixth in a row? And speaking of sixth in a row, Kings are only one game back from Memphis right now. So that is really interesting. Think about that. We're worried about the Kings holding court at the 3 spot. They're close to moving into the 2. So let's see what they will do, because it is in reach. We should have a watch party at Bennett. So stay tuned to the stream. There may be some upcoming news about that. We would absolutely love to do that. All right. We've got Kings 117, 113. We've got Kings 122, 119. Oh, it's our first 130. Kings 132, 126. Here's a good question. Any chance of getting Nerlens Noel? To quote one of my favorite movies out there, so you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. Okay. But why? Why do we need Nerlens Noel right now? I can think of 2 other positions that need to be filled on this team that are much more important than the backup center role. Noel would not fit in with the way this team plays. And we already know about the defense. We've seen the stats. We've seen the Kings get better as the game goes along and as they get into the fourth quarter at defense. But defense is not their strength. So what the Kings need to focus on is their offense. Noel coming in would not change much. Maybe give you a block a game. He's not going to give you any offense whatsoever. And it just wouldn't make sense. I mean, you basically have a Nerlens Noel on the bench to a degree, just a little bit shorter with Alex Len. Alex doesn't even play. He doesn't touch the court. So if anything, the Kings need to get a veteran backup point guard. Grant and I were big proponents of that before the trade deadline. Obviously, it didn't happen, but they need somebody that can come in and back up Fox on that is more offensive minded and can run that offense. Because Davion, while he has been better the last few games, Davion is not that guy yet. Let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, we got Holmes. Holmes is actually out tonight, by the way, still with a non-COVID illness. Yes, it was a Dumb and Dumber quote. I'm a comedy movie buff, so maybe I'll throw in some comedy quotes every now and again. I love the classics. You can always throw those in the chat too. We can have some fun with it. So Noel signed with the Nets. Well, there you go. He's off the market. So I was not aware of that. All right. So we're getting closer to tip off. Hello, Idaho. Boise, what is up? One of my favorite cities in America. thank you so much for tuning into the stream tonight in the pregame show. I wish I was in Boise, actually. That is a great city. If you've not been there, go check it out. Oh, we got Kings 142, 120, or 137 in OT. All right. All right, we're getting bold. John's going with an OT prediction. All right, I see you, John. John's a great guy, great cook too. So let's see, what else do we got? Connor. Yeah. Yeah, that would be John. John's the man. John is the man. What do you think the keys to the game are for tonight? I already kind of went over them. The foul trouble for Sabonis, shooting, and Kevin Herter continuing to get right, like he did yesterday. All right, Sack 131-24. There you go. Yeah, we do. Do not let him get going. If you have not seen Anthony Edwards play, he is a great two guard. Stud. Let's just put it that way. They also Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels. He is a very good player. They're an athletic team, so they're going to give the Kings a run for their money, and that could be also another key to the game is turnovers. The Kings cannot get sloppy because that's what the Timberwolves are going to want to do. The Timberwolves are going to want the Kings to play at a high pace, but the Kings like to play at a high pace anyway. So could be an exciting game. ETA on shirts. Any day. Grant gave you the update yesterday. They are waiting, or Grant is waiting on his license in Florida. And once, so I can assure you, everything's done on the back end to go live on his website. If you don't like that, just waiting for that license to come in. And thank you so much, Napes. I appreciate it. And I assured everyone that you are not taking the night off due to load management. So they all know that everything's good. So really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Well done, Rhino. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we are getting you closer and closer to tip off. Looks like the game is getting ready to start. The announcers are going through their little pregame on the court. So just a reminder, and yes, Eduardo, appreciate that, buddy. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Help get those numbers up for Grant's channel. We would really appreciate that. So again, we'll be back, or I will be back at halftime, and then I will be back post game to wrap things up. But again, before we go, want to give a huge thanks to Bennett for sponsoring the show. Bennett's Kitchen, Brian, his team, everybody at Bennett's is absolutely awesome, and an amazing place for a great steak, awesome seafood. Everything on the menu is great. And Grant even mentioned the steak salad last night. So there you go. If you got a good steak salad, then you know everything else is going to be pretty darn good. They have locations in Sacramento, Roseville, and a third location soon to come in Rockland at the Blue Oaks Town Center. Bennett, go check them out. All right. Well, we are just about there. I am getting ready to come in for a landing on the pregame show. Don't forget, we will be back at half and to wrap things up at the postgame as well. All right, Kings, Timberwolves, looking for a 6th straight win. De'Aaron Fox looking for the tie on the franchise record for games with 30 points or more. Tiny Archibald. Franchise record set in 1975. Fox can tie it tonight with 30 or more. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all at the half. So long now.